Nkem has been in the hospital since she was injured by the fire incident in her kitchen. When she heard that her children were kidnapped, she became worse and requested to return home to be with her family. Nkem insisted that she was already recovering from the injuries. She said she wanted to be with her husband so that they would find a way to rescue the missing children. However, the doctor turned down her request despite the fact that she wept all day. If her tears were to be collected in containers, it will fill 10 buckets. I cannot leave my husband at home alone to be dealing with the problem of our kidnapped children. I have to find a way to go home. I want to go home. You people can be treating me at home. I will pay for everything, even if it means stationing someone at home to be attending to me. I'm ready to pay the money. I want to be with my husband so that we can see how we can rescue our children. The situation is making me sad, and my husband might have a heart attack if he is allowed to bear this alone. Nkem said to the doctor who was caring for her at the hospital. Madam Nkem, there are no facilities to care for you in your house. If we allow you go home, you might die. We are helping you here because the level of bonds you suffered cannot be managed at home. I'm sure your husband is capable of handling whatever it is that is happening to the children. Take care of your own health first. You need to be strong first before you can effectively fight for your children. You can't fight for your children when you are struggling for life, the doctor said, appealing. His voice was not harsh. He was just issuing a vital medical advice. I'm so worried about what is happening. So many disasters seem to be hitting my family all at the same time. The whole thing is making me lose my mind. This has never happened to us before. Our family has never faced so many problems at once. It is as if the devil has finally remembered us. I'm so worried right now, and staying in this hospital makes me feel worse. I cannot even give any helping hand to my husband. Nkem lamented. Tears were streaming down her eyes like tap water. I understand how you feel, but trust me, going home will not make any difference. Are you going to fight the kidnappers? You cannot even walk properly yet. You need to relax so that your injuries will heal. When they are healed, you can go home to be with your husband and family. But as for now, you owe it to them to get better first. If you don't get better before going home, you will not be able to give them the help they need. Please, I'm begging you, the doctor said. Nkem had no option but to stay back at the hospital. Meanwhile, back home, the kidnappers have contacted Dr. Benji again, just as they were instructed by Gina. They accused Dr. Benji of not coming to the right place. They said he went to the wrong address. They denied attacking him and also denied collecting his money the previous night. The kidnappers said they were giving Dr. Benji an additional 24 hours to look for another 500 million and bring to them. Dr. Benji had the money. Money was never his problem. However, he has often worried about the sincerity of the kidnappers. Are you saying if I bring this money now, you will release my children? This has been a heartbreaking experience for me, and I don't want the situation to continue. I want to put an end to this. I don't want the children to spend another night in the kidnappers' den. Just release them and take the money. If you want additional money, I'm going to bring it to you. But you have to promise me that the children will be safely handed over to me once and for all, Dr. Benji said tearfully. We will release your children. You have our assurance. It was your fault the last time. You missed the address we gave to you and went to another place. This time around, make sure you stick to the address. Don't miss it. Once you come to the right place, you will have your children with you this evening. Again, let me repeat. Don't even try to bring the police to our hideout. And don't contact any security agents. Come alone. Drive alone to this place with the money in cash. We don't take transfers. Don't miss the time. You should start coming now, the gang leader said. Dr. Benji picked his car and loaded the bag of money into the boot and started driving to the location. When he got there, he called the kidnappers on phone and he was asked to step out of the car and wait. We can see you. Step out of your car and raise your hands up. Just step out of your car and raise your hands up, the kidnapper said. Dr. Benji did as he was told. Just like the previous day, he went to pay the kidnappers in the night. But this time around, the place was like a town but was not too developed. However, there was phone network. The place he met the kidnappers were like a dump site. He came down from his car and raised his hands in the air as instructed. A few minutes later, the kidnappers emerged from the bush. Instead of taking only the money in the car, they also got hold of Dr. Benji. They pushed him into the car and drove away. They took him and took his money without releasing the children. That was the instruction Gina gave to them. Gina is yet to be satisfied with the level of revenge she has carried out so far against Nkem and her husband, Dr. Benji. She wants to do more against them. She wants to bring them to their knees. Gina did not want to leave any stones unturned. Her ambition is to completely remove everything that gave Nkem and her husband joy. Gina came prepared. She had all the plans mapped out and she wanted to implement them one after the other. The ones she has done so far were highly successful. She was preparing her mind for her next line of action. It's time for my next line of action. There is no peace for the wicked. I'm here to pay Nkem and her husband back. They think I had forgotten about them, but no way. They will pay dearly for that sin. I will take revenge against them. They will pay for every single tears that dropped from my eyes 15 years ago. They will not know how peace feels like. By the time they realize that I'm the one working against them, their lives would have been turned upside down. I will teach them a bitter lesson, Gina said. She was in the kitchen cooking noodles for herself. Let me take time to enjoy my noodles before my next revenge action. I'm living in their house free of charge. I'm also eating their food free of charge. To make matters worse for them, I'm planning evil against them right under their noses, and they have no idea. I must give myself some kudos. It's just a like. I'm the master strategy. I have successfully carried out many revenge plans, and I will continue to be successful without getting caught, Gina said. She was behaving like the overall boss of the house. When she was done eating her noodles, she picked up her phone and called the gang leader of the kidnappers. She had another set of instructions for them. I want you to go to the hospital and kidnap Nkem. I want Dr. Benji and his wife to be in the house so that I can come and question them. I want to ask them questions concerning what they did to me 15 years ago. Check your phone. I've already sent you the address of the hospital where she is being taken care of. I want this to be done today, Gina said. Her voice was bossy. Madam, don't you think you have done enough? I will advise that we should not stretch our luck to avoid being arrested. In my opinion, I think you are now overdoing it. In this type of business, the key to success is knowing when to stop. We have successfully kidnapped the man and his children. We have also collected 1 billion from him. What else do you want? You still want to kidnap his wife? Besides, his wife is sick and she might die in our hands and complicate matters for us. Please let us leave this wife alone, the gang leader said. Gina was not happy that the gang leader was challenging her instructions. She started shouting in a loud voice. She was visibly angry, such that her voice attracted Dr. Benji driver, who was sitting outside. The driver had to draw closer to know what was happening. When he heard Gina talking about kidnapping, he hid somewhere and used his phone to record her voice. He heard everything she was saying and then realized Gina was the one behind everything that was happening in the compound. I'm the one paying you and you are going to carry out my instruction, whether you like it or not. It's my money and you work for me. You have no right to tell me what to do. You are going to that hospital and you are going to kidnap Nkem. When you kidnap her, take her to my house and keep her in the place you kept the husband and children. When you are done, call me so that I will come and question them. I hope I have made myself clear, Gina asked. The gang leader had no choice. He gathered his men and they left for the hospital. Meanwhile, the kidnappers had no idea that police were already waiting for them at the hospital. They thought everything was going to be easy like before. It turned out that going to the hospital was a great mistake. When they arrived, they entered the ward to kidnap Nkem. But as they were opening the door, the policemen took them unawares. They didn't know they were going to encounter any opposition. So they walked in casually without getting their guns ready. Drop your guns, kneel down and raise your hands in the air. If anyone moves, he would be dead, the police leader said. All the kidnappers were arrested at the hospital. They took the gangs to Gina's house. Nkem insisted she wants to follow them so that she would see her husband and children. The police carried her. She had also recovered a little and was stronger than before. You are going to call the woman who sent you on this mission. Call her to come home. Tell her you have kidnapped Nkem. Don't tell her the police are here, the police leader said to the gang leader. He picked his phone and called Gina. Madam, the job is done and Nkem is here with her husband and children. You can come now and question them, the gang leader said. On my way, Gina said over the phone without knowing that the police were waiting for her in her house. The journey from Dr. Benji's house to Gina's house took only a few minutes. She made use of a taxi, which did not waste any time on the road because there was no traffic. She was happy because her dream of having Dr. Benji and Nkem under her roof and under her control was gradually coming to pass. She had always dreamt of a day she would detain Nkem and her husband and then look them in the face and tell them what they did to her many years ago. That day has come and she could not be happier. When the taxi driver dropped her off at the gate, there were no signs of security men or the police. The police planned the whole thing to be like a movie. They wanted to allow Gina to have access to Dr. Benji and his wife. They wanted to also hear what they did against Gina. So they put them in one room and instructed the gang leader to direct Gina to the room as soon as she arrives in the house. The policemen hid themselves outside, just close the room where Nkem and Benji were kept. A recording device was also planted in the room to capture everything Gina was going to say and use them against her in the court of law. The stage was set for real drama when Gina arrived. However, when she arrived, she refused to just go straight to the room. She wanted to pick something from her bedroom, opened a hidden wardrobe and picked a gun which she has been keeping for this purpose. She loaded the gun with 6 bullets and then walked into the room to meet Nkem and Dr. Benji. Even though the police had assured them of their safety, they did not expect that Gina would come with a gun. So when she entered the room, the policemen outside also got ready for action. When Dr. Benji and Nkem saw Gina, they were deeply shocked that their children nanny was the person being talked about. So it is you that kidnapped our children? You are a monster. You are going to rot in jail. You will pay for every single crime you have committed against us, Nkem said. She was shouting before she saw that Gina had a gun, so she quickly respected herself. I will advise you to watch your tongue or I will cut it off. You are not in your mansion. You are in my house and you are going to respect me, whether you like it or not. Do you people know me? Do you remember who I am? Gina asked Nkem and her husband. They were tied to 2 chairs. Their hands and legs were bound by They tied them so that when she entered, she would think the whole thing was real. It was actually a dangerous affair for Nkem and Dr. Benji, but they too wanted Gina to be nailed, so they took the risk. We don't know you, ma, but we only know you are our children's nanny, Nkem said. Of course, they have forgotten who she really is. They only remembered her as the nanny they hired a few weeks ago. What happened between them took place so many years ago, and there was no way they were going to remember her. Besides, Gina has undergone several plastic surgeries, and her face is no longer the same. They clearly told her that they don't remember who she is. So you have forgotten about me, and you think I will forget about you? I have not forgotten about you, and since you did what you did to me, I have been planning my revenge. Today is the happiest day of my life because I'm going to finally carry out that revenge. You think I will leave you to enjoy your marriage until you grow old? You think I was going to die from what you did to me? What were you thinking when you did what you did to me? The two of you are heartless, but I'm going to show you that I have a heart of stone. I will teach you a lesson so that in your next life, you will never harm anyone that did not do anything to you, Gina said angrily. She happily prepared her gun and tapped it gently in readiness to shoot. Hold on, don't shoot, please. Please, what did we do to you? We cannot remember. If you had come to our house and told us that we offended you, we would have apologized to you and paid you damages if need be. Instead, you came in as a nanny to our children, and you have been tormenting us since then. What did we ever do to you? Nkem asked. Yes, it gave me joy to torment you. I derive a lot of satisfaction from seeing you two cry. Do you know that I was the one who caused the fire that burned you? Gina says sarcastically. You are very wicked and your heart is evil. You will pay for everything you made me to go through, Nkem said tearfully. Just then, Gina gave her a hot slap and she shut up. Nkem felt the pain of being slapped by a fellow woman, but the worst was that she could not retaliate. Gina decided not to talk too much. She removed her phone and whispered through it and displayed an old picture she took with them and Dr. Benji when they were younger. She gave them the phone to take a look. Do you know these people? Gina asked, handing the phone to the couple. Nkem and Dr. Benji looked at the phone screen and saw themselves in the photo. The three people in the photo were Nkem, Dr. Benji, and Gina. The photo was taken 15 years ago when they were younger. Nkem and Dr. Benji were shocked. Oh my God, Gina, is this you? Nkem shouted. Gina, my former girlfriend? Oh my God, it's you. Your voice now rings in my head, Dr. Benji said as his mind flashes back to the years he and Gina used to date. At that point, Gina started crying when she remembered why Benji ended up with getting married to her, but married Nkem instead. Dr. Benji and Nkem realized that they were dealing with an enemy who wants to get revenge at all costs. They quickly knew that there was no way Gina was going to leave them to go alive. They became seriously scared for their lives. If they had known that the woman being talked about was Gina, they would have not agreed to sit in a room with her. They knew that what they did to her years ago was not good, and there was no way she was going to forgive them. If she had a way of harming them, sitting with her in a room where she had a gun was a huge mistake. It was already too late for them to try running. If they tried to run, Gina could shoot them even before the police would make any attempt to enter the room and rescue them. Besides, they cannot even run because they were tied to chairs, which means there was no way they were going to stand up or leave the room unless someone helped them. Having realized that Gina came to kill and to destroy, they blamed themselves for staying with her in a room without any security. Everything they did to Gina came back to them. Their home memories was replaying itself in their heads like a movie. What happened 15 years ago became fresh in their brains. 15 years ago, Gina and Dr. Benji were dating. They were getting ready to marry. In fact, all marriage arrangement has been finalized, but something shocking happened a few weeks to the wedding. Gina was in her room one day when Nkem, who was her best friend, walked in with a bowl of acid. Nkem threw the bowl of acid at Gina's face and completely disfigured her face. Even though Gina and Nkem were best of friends, Gina did not know that Nkem was jealous of her because she found a rich man that would marry her. Due to her jealousy, Nkem planned to destroy Gina's relationship with Dr. Benji. She did everything to destroy their relationship, but she could not succeed. Then she decided she was going to make Gina to look ugly. That was why she poured her acid and disfigured her face. She wanted to be the one that would get married to Dr. Benji. She was successful in her plans because after Gina was taken to the hospital, where she spent up to 2 years, Nkem snatched Dr. Benji from her. Gina almost died. She could not open her eyes and mouth to talk for many months. No one knew who committed the crime. After then, Nkem seduced Dr. Benji and got pregnant for him, which was why he had no option but to marry her. They completely forgot about Gina, who spent a long time at the hospital fighting for her life. When she returned from the hospital, what she heard was that Dr. Benji has married Nkem, her best friend. That was why Gina vowed to make money and seek revenge, no matter how long it would take her. Nkem, I know you won't know who I am. I don't blame you, Dr. Benji. I know you have forgotten me. You stopped visiting me at the hospital. You stopped calling me. I did not know you were busy knacking my friend, and then she got pregnant for you while I was at the hospital fighting to stay alive. Well, I did not die. I later came out alive despite the acid you poured on my face. And you can see my face beautiful again. I changed my face with plastic surgery, even though some of the scars are still here and there. That is why you people didn't know who I am. So tell me, if you were me, would you forgive the person who did such an evil thing to you? Nkem, you were my friend. What did I do to you? And why did you snatch my man? Gina asked tearfully. She started crying when she remembered all she went through. I was good to you. You wore the same clothes. We were like twins because you and I were always together. Why then did you seek to destroy me? Did I offend you in any way? If you had told me back then that I offended you, I would have apologized. But instead, you chose to end my life so that you could take my man. You succeeded in everything you planned, but I will not allow you to eat the fruit of your labor. I'm going to kill you, the two of you, and I will kill all your children, Gina said. Please don't kill us. I don't know what came over me. In fact, I was jealous of you because things were going well for you in terms of relationship back then. And me, I was finding it difficult to even get a boyfriend. Please forgive me for the sake of my children. I'm ready to leave Dr. Benji for you right now if you spare my life, Nkem pleaded while crying like a baby. Leave which man for me? You have taken all his youth and you want to leave him for me at old age? I will not accept that. You will pay for your sins, and your life right here is in this room. Gina shouted. She pulled the gun and shot Nkem's leg. The policemen had the gunshot, and then they were agitated. Nkem was shouting. The policemen realized they had made a mistake to have allowed them in the same room. Please don't shoot again. Spare her life and take my own. I'm sorry for allowing her to seduce me years ago. It was the handwork of the devil. I did not plan it. You were the one I love. Please, you can even take all my money. Just spare my life and my family. You can settle this in another way. Not through war, Dr. Benji pleaded, but all his pleas fell on Gina's deaf ears. There is no other way to settle this. This is the way to settle it. You people chose war 15 years ago, and I'm giving it to you now, Nkem said. She pulled the trigger again and shot Dr. Benji's right leg. He shouted. The policemen outside started coming in after realized that something terrible wrong was going on. We shouldn't have allowed them in the same room. It was a mistake. Let's go and rescue them, the police said as they marched into the building. Time was running late for Nkem and Dr. Benji. Gina was bent on terminating their lives. She was not joking when she said she was going to terminate their lives. She came prepared and she had everything planned. The police underestimated what she could do to Dr. Benji and Gina. They thought it was a minor issue which they could just stay outside and observe. That was a huge mistake. As of the time they started moving into the building to rescue the couple, it was becoming too late. Gina was getting ready to pull the trigger again as many times as she wants. Please don't kill us. Spare our lives because of our children. If you kill us, who will take care of our children? I know I did something terribly wrong to you, but have mercy upon us. Show us mercy. If you spare our life, we will compensate you with any amount of money you want. Just name the amount of money you want. We will cash it out and bring it to you. Even if you want, I will give you one of my companies. I will sign the document that you are now the owner. Just spare us, please, Dr. Benji said to Gina. Those things are nothing to me. For your information, I have money. I have worked very hard and I have made money. I'm actually a very rich woman with a lot of properties in the city. I'm not begging for your money. I don't want your money. I have all the money I want, and there is nothing I want to buy that I cannot afford right now. So, your money is not why I was seeking for revenge. You stole something that is more than money from me. You stole my beauty from me. You stole my love life from me. You stole my original face from me. Those things cannot be replaced with money. That is why I must also take something from you, something that money cannot buy. That is what I would take from you, Gina said to Dr. Benji. At that time, the policemen were standing at the door of the room where Gina was keeping Dr. Benji and his wife. They were confused on what to do because the door was tightly locked. They did not know if they should knock or to forcefully break the door. If they knocked, Gina could get angry and kill the couple. If they broke the door and entered forcefully, they don't know how she would react since she was armed with a gun. The best thing is for them to use a sniper to take her down. The sniper could shoot her through the window. If we enter this room, I'm sure we would endanger the lives of Dr. Benji and Kim. We should act fast. Tell the police sniper to position himself on the fence outside. We have only 5 minutes to end all this madness, the leader of the policemen said. The sniper acted according to instructions. He positioned himself on the fence and started targeting Gina's head with his gun. Meanwhile, inside the room, Gina was still ranting and inflicting more pains on Dr. Benji and his wife. They were now highly tired, and if nothing was done to rescue them from the hands of Gina, she might spy them. Everywhere was tense. The policeman at the fence waited for instruction from their boss. I did not do anything wrong to you, Nkem. I was always good to you. I shared everything I had with you. I shared my money with you. Sometimes we wore the same dresses. Our friendship was going on well until you chose to betray me. You did not only snatch my man, you got married to him and bore children for him as if I never existed. You never looked back to check how I was doing at the hospital. You just eloped with my man and got pregnant for him. I don't think there is anything more painful as what you did to me. I trusted you so much. You even agreed to be my chief bridesmaid at my wedding. But I didn't know you had your eyes on my man. You did it successfully. But I promise myself you will regret it. That is why we are here today. You people are not leaving this room alive, Gina said. Please, I know we deserve everything you have done against us. But forgive us. What I did was wrong. I was greedy and jealous. But we can still find another way to settle this problem. Don't take our lives. We are ready to do whatever you want, Nkem said. Gina did not listen. She pulled the trigger again and shot Nkem's second leg. When the police heard Nkem's voice after she shouted, they knew that water don't pass Gary. The sniper was giving the order to shoot. The sniper pulled the trigger and shot down Gina down through the window. It was just one shot, but she fell down and that was the end. Oh God, we have suffered. But it looks like we are safe, Dr. Benji shouted. The police broke the door and rescued them. After they were rescued, they sat near Gina's body and begged her for forgiveness. I know this may no longer count because you are dead now, but find a place in your heart and forgive me. I did a terrible thing against you by snatching your man. Show me mercy and let your spirit not haunt me, Nkem said. Show me mercy too. Let your spirit not haunt me, Dr. Benji said. A month later, they decided they were going to divorce. This marriage was built on a wrong foundation. I feel so much guilty. I feel like I'm responsible for Gina's death. I would like us to get a divorce. I don't want this marriage anymore. There has to be a way to pay for my sins against Gina. I know she did something wrong by trying to kill us, but if I did not snatch you from her, she would not have done it. It was all my fault, Nkem said to her husband. They agreed and got separated so they would have peace of mind. Jealousy could lead to destruction. Revenge does not always end well. Thank you for watching this story. So, besties, what moral lesson did you learn from this story? Drop it in the comment section. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you've not done so by now. Like, share, give this story a thumbs up. Until I bring another story your way. Bye for now.